In today's lecture, we are going to continue from where we left last week. And in today's lecture, there will not be any slides. I'm going to take you uh, to a live portal of Azure, and I'm going to demonstrate one of the many services in Azure. Why I'm saying just one service? Because just to take you through one service um, in a bit of a detail is going to take some time. So I'm going to, to 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 demonstrate one service to you in a bit of a detail, and the rest of the services, I'm just going to introduce to you, and then you will have some idea that what is Azure and how does it look like. Um, I'm going to share my screen with you as usual, and then we'll take it from there. So hopefully my screen is visible to you, and in front of you at the moment, well, it's just a desktop. So what you need to do is that you need to go to the portal of Azure. So you can just type over here like portal.azure.com, and this is the website you have to go to. Now the thing is, um, you have to create an account for Azure for yourself. I've already created an account. Well, I have got several accounts because I've been doing this for a while. So you have to create an account for yourself. What you require to create an account is an email address, which has to be from Microsoft. So it could be um, um, yeah, the email address using outlook.com domain, or the email address using hotmail.com domain. So both of them are free domains. You can just go over there. You can create your email address with one of those domains. I mean, if you already doesn't have one, if you already have an email address from these accounts, from these domains, that's fine. But if you don't, then you have to create one. Once you have created that, and then you have to go to the portal.azure.com, and over there you can, the other thing that you need is a credit card. It doesn't have to be a debit card. It must be a credit card from MasterCard or American Express, or whatever it is. You have to create an account with that credit card. For the first 30 days, the services are free. So you have to, while you are creating that account, I'm not showing that creation of the account because I already have one. So there's no point in going over there and using those details at the moment. But it's just like creating an account the way you create an account for anything on internet. So you go over there, you put your email address in, your name and your address and your telephone number, and then your credit card detail. In the subscription, you categorically say that it's for the free trial account. On the Dropbox, it does say which kind of subscription you need. So you say free trial subscription. So when you say that, then it means that for the first 30 days, there will be no deduction at all from your credit card. I mean, whatever service you are using over there, it doesn't matter. It will be free of cost. And after 30 days, it will send you a message saying that, look, your 30 days period has expired, and do you want to continue? And if you want to continue, then you have to go for an upgrade. But if you don't go for an upgrade, then your services are suspended. So this means that that you don't have to worry that after 30 days, even if you forget, the money will start deducting from your credit card. It's not like that. I mean, you have to pick up an upgrade option. Then you have to then the deduction will start. So it's pretty safe. I mean, you just create a service, create an account, and then start playing around with the stuff. Right. So I'm just going to show you one of the accounts. So hopefully I remember my password. All right. So there you go. we are into the Azure portal now. Now, in the Azure portal, you can hopefully see there are, a number of services listed over here, but these are just a few of the services. Um, you go to the home. Well, we are in the home. So there are these number of services. You have virtual machines. You have this is a service we are going to play with today. We have got images, we have got app services, we have got storage account, SQL databases, Azure database, Cosmos, Kubernetes, and more services. So there are quite a lot of services. I mean, as you can see over here, uh, and obviously it all depends that what level of usage you want to go to. But just to give you just to give you a flavor, as I said, that let's do this virtual machine services. Um, so what is virtual machines? What are virtual machines in the first place? We need to understand that. Virtual machines is just a server. It's like a hosting vehicle for you. If you want to set up a website on a server, previously, when you were starting a small business, you had to first buy a server for yourself. I mean, if you wanted to to have a control of everything, you could create a website anyway. But then if you said that no, I mean, I want to have my own um, my own hardware, and I would like to have my own platform on that, and then I'm going to create my websites and everything and my databases and all that. So you had to source all this equipment for yourself, and as I said in my previous lectures, in a kind of a data center kind of an environment, even if you were not going so big, even if it was just one or couple of servers, you had to have them placed in a room, pay for the electricity, you know got those servers maintained and all that, and pay for those servers all the time, till the time you had that server. It would take at least a few days, if not weeks, to to purchase those servers, get them installed, commission them, and then start using them. So it would be a bit of a task to do all those things. But now, I mean, as you have just seen, you can just log on to Azure portal with having a credit card, by having a credit card, and then you can see all these services, and from those services you can just pick up the virtual machine. Virtual machine is going to be your host, uh, and by host I mean that that you will be able to create the Windows, Linux, Ubuntu, Red Hat, whatever services you want. You can have them placed on those virtual machines. So that's where your virtual machines are. Now let's go and see that that how we are going to create those virtual machines. So over here in the general and I can go into the compute, and then I will just click on virtual machines, and then I'll say add, and over here I click add virtual machines. You can have as many virtual machines as you want. There is no what do you say, there's no limitation. So yeah, so subscription, as you can see that already, it says that it's a free trial for me, because that's the subscription I opted for when I was creating my account. It's a free trial account. In the resource group, I've already created a resource group for myself, which is KNAQUI. Uh, so so I've selected that. Now in the virtual machines, I can type test Azure, test Azure. Uh, no, so it says that don't have any space. So right, so it's a test Azure virtual machine name that I have. In the region, uh, there are several regions in Azure, from I mean throughout the globe, and the whole idea is to have so many regions is because uh, there are several things. One is that geographically it makes more sense to have your equipment placed near to you. For instance, I mean, if we are in UK, so I'm going to select Europe was um, Europe, West Europe. But it's also about about the regulations and the compliance issues that I mean, if you are having um, a business in West Europe, in UK, then it's better to have your equipments in West Europe as well, because you will be compliant with the laws and regulations over here, rather than if you are picking up somewhere in, for instance, West US or Canada or France or UAE North. Instead of doing that, if you can get this thing in your own space, um, then you will be more compliant. And also with regards to the redundancies, that is something that we are going to see that that if there's some sort of disaster, from recovery perspective and from business continuity perspective as well, it's better that your 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 main equipment and your redundant equipment are also in the same region, but in two different geographical locations. It means that, for instance, if somebody has chosen US, East US, so first of all, he's going to create his virtual machines in the East US. But then, if he says that I want to have redundancy as well, so so Azure is going to be clever enough that it will understand that, okay, so he has created VM1 and he wants to have a uh, um, redundancy of this VM1 as well. So so let him be in the same region, which is going to be East US, but in a different um, geographical location. For instance, in East US, one of the data center could be in New York, and the other one is going to be in some other state, in Florida probably. So there are two different, physical areas. So if something happens in Florida, which is famous for its tornadoes and for the other natural disasters, um, so so it makes sense that the uh, re- redundant equipment will be in New York, or vice versa. So that's the idea. So that's why we are going to pick up region as West Europe, and then redundancy required. We are not going to say that we don't require a redundancy at the moment, but but if we did, then there are different options where we are saying that availability zone or availability set redundancy and all that. So let's not go into that at the moment. We are just creating a single virtual machine and we are taking it from there. Um, for the for the image, we will say um, Windows Server 2019, Data Center 2019. That's the image that we have chosen, generation 1, and then we will say size. We are going to keep the size as just the basic standard size. Now it's going to give you an idea of how much you will be paying for that as well. Because we are on a free trial, we don't have to worry about that. But if after a month of free trial, I'm still deploying this machine, then this machine is going to cost me £72 a month, 72 pounds 36 pence a month. So in the usernames, I will say Khurram 101, and I'm going to pick up a password as well. So that's my password. Right. Now in the ports, I've just kept it as default, which is remote desktop port RDP 3389, and then I'm going to say that, would you like to use any Windows Server license? No, there's no need to use any license. And from here, I'm just going to say that let's keep everything by default. let's not go into all the details, and I'm going to click on create. Now you can see that it's 0.09 pounds per hour I'm going to pay for that. Microsoft is also giving me price per hour, because you don't necessarily have to have this VM for the whole month. We got a price of 72 pounds 36 pence for the whole month, but that's the beauty of cloud, that you can have it only for a few minutes or a few hours, rather than having it for the full month. Because I mean, you could have your system based upon maybe just one VM, and then you say that throughout the year this one VM is more than enough for you, because your business is fairly small at the moment. But then in one part of the year, your traffic could grow, and you are expecting that you will need more than one VM for a couple of days maybe. So you will just buy that VM for those couple of days, create it the way I'm showing you, and then this is your quotation. So 0.999 0.0991, it's like 99p. You are paying for in fact less than 99p. It's 9p that you are paying per hour for this one. So there you go, and here you can verify all the settings that you have put in, and now you say create. So now you are creating your virtual machine. You are doing something which takes quite a lot of time and effort, manpower and physical effort to do. I mean, the previous days you had to go out and go to the market and purchase the equipment. You have to bring that equipment back to your place. You have to install it, cable it, get the electricity and get the air conditioning in, and then you have to take the equipment out of the box, put it into the rack, connect the cables, get an electrician in to make sure that all the electricity requirements have been met for you. Then you have to switch it on. Then you have to install a platform on top of that. But over here we are doing it just with a click of your mouse, click of the mouse, and we are seeing that the deployment is in progress at the moment. So somewhere in the data centers of West Europe, a space is getting reserved for you in one of the racks, and a computer is being created for you with your own specifications. You have given your specifications, that what kind of a Windows server you want, what kind of a operating system, and hardware and software specifications you want, and based on that the deployment is being done. Now you can also monitor this requirement over here, where it's showing you what's happening. Now you can see the deployment is complete, right? So it's all done for you. Now let's go and have a look at what has happened. So we again go back to all services and into the virtual machines, and there you go. You can see virtual machine being placed with your name, with your the specifications that you give, and here are all the details of this virtual machine. Now you want to access that virtual machine as well, and you want to see that where this virtual machine is, and how it is, and how the virtual machine look like. So this is your public IP address. You can access the virtual machine by your graphical user interface using the RDP. So you can copy this public IP address, and and you can use the remote desktop in two ways. One of that is that you go to the search and type remote desktop connection, and there you go, the remote desktop will come. uh, or you can click upon this IP address itself. No, in fact, you can click upon the connect. So when you go to the connect, you connect on remote desktop port, and then it's going to say download RDP file. You say yes, download the RDP file, and then you connect this file. uh, you click on that file, and now it's asking for the user ID and password. It's the same user ID and password that we created while while creating the VM. So you can see it over here, and it's there you go. So now it's connecting, it's developing a connection with your newly created RDP, and some scripts are running in the background, as you can see. And in a moment, uh, your new virtual machine, there you go. Your new virtual machine is here now, as you can see. And here you can see your service manager. At the moment, we can just um, minimize that. So it just looks like a normal PC, and it is a normal PC actually, remotely located for you, reserved for you. You didn't have to buy anything by going in the market and bringing the hardware and everything. It's all there, uh, located somewhere in one of the data centers for you. So everything is there for you. So now what I'm going to do is that there are two exercises that I'm going to do on this virtual machine. One is that I'm going to show you that if you want to create a replica of that virtual machine. For instance, you did a few things on this virtual machine. You created a few files. I'm going to show you. You have created a file, a text document, a text document called Azure 101. You created that file over here, and then you have put something like A B C D 1 2 3 4, and you just saved it. So this is, you are storing your data on this one, and then you go over here as well. In the file structure over here, you can see what kind of um, uh, a storage and memory you have. You have a C window, a C drive and a D drive. One 126 gigs of C drive and 7 gigs of D drive. In the D drive also, I'm going to create a file uh, saying with the text document, and I say that IMD drive document. IMD drive document. So this is something that I've created over here. So this is my one of the test document. There are two test documents I have created. One is in the C drive, which is placed on the desktop, and one over here on the D drive. I'm just going to close that. So now what do you think is that we would like to create let's go out of this for now. Close this one. Session will be disconnected. Yeah, that's fine. So let's see that how we can create an image of the virtual machine that I have just shown you. Why we create the images? What is the rationale behind that? The rationale is simple. For instance, you have done some configurations on your system, and you want to enhance the system at a later stage, but you also want to make sure that your previous configurations are not lost while you are enhancing your system. So that's when you create an image of your system, so that if something wrong happens while doing the the enhancement of your system, there's something to fall back upon. It's just like, you have these WhatsApp application installed on your phones, and WhatsApp keeps sending those updates after every 2 or 3 weeks. It's in your Google Play Store, or in your maybe um, in your Apple Store. So uh, so um, they push the new software update on your phone, but at the same time, they have the previous configurations as well with them, so that if your WhatsApp is not working with the new configuration, you have your previous configuration to fall back upon. So that's the whole idea over here as well, that you may have been running some applications or some websites on your virtual machine, and now you want to make some changes in your virtual machines, but you have a concern that your apps could be disturbed while you are doing that. So you just say that, okay, I'm going to create an image of that app, of that system of yours, and then I'm going to to do to capture the image. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to create the capture, to create the image. Just bear with me for a moment. Okay, so I'm just gonna go into the virtual machine. There you go. Hang on. All services, virtual machines. Right, here we are. And over here you can see that on the top it says connect and start, restart, stop, capture, delete, refresh. So I will just click upon capture, and there you go. It's saying now over here, the resource group, we are going to keep the same resource group. We can change the name of your image if you want to, but there's no point in changing that. Just leave it like that. Automatically delete these virtual machines after creating the image. So they are giving you an option that whether you want to delete your virtual machine or not. At the moment, we will say that no, we are not going to. We don't want to delete the name of the virtual machines. Type the name of your virtual. Type the your type the virtual machine name. So I'm just going to say test Azure. That's the name of our virtual machine, and we say create. So it is now taking, as you can see over here, stopping virtual machines. So this is something that we need to know as well, that when the image is being captured, your virtual machine is going to stop. It's going to give a pause to your virtual machine before taking an image. So that's the thing, when you see that your website is going into maintenance, sometimes you get these messages from your banking apps as well, and your other applications as well on your phone, that a certain website, that your app will be down for a few hours, and probably this is one of the things that they're doing, taking the images and doing some sort of a maintenance on your apps. But anyway, at this stage, so now you can see that, okay, this your successfully created image is there now. So let's close this one, and now let's go and see where those images are. Right. So I will go in all services, and at the moment I can't say the tab for image, but I'll just type image over here and see it will come. So there you go. You can go into the images, and here you can see the current columns. Okay. close. So you can see, okay, one of the image that I created yesterday, I'm just going to delete that because it's not relevant. I don't know why I can't delete it. Anyway, let's leave it like that. So this is our test image that we have just created, test Azure image. If you go inside there, you can see, the specifications uh, of your image. You can see test Azure image and virtual machine. All these things are mentioned over here, uh, and it says that you can create a VM out of this image as well. So now let's go and see what happened to our VM from which we created this image in the first place. So I'm just going to go into that VM and I'll see, okay, so the VM is still there, but what happened, the VM is stopped. That's why it's saying, it's giving you an option to start it. It is stopped at the moment. So you can just, let's leave it, here as it is, and let's go back to your images and try to bring a VM live out of your test image. So in the test image, I just say create VM, and then virtual machine name, I say test VM1. I call it test VM1. Again, the same process. It's asking the availability option. I'm just, I'm not saying anything. I'm just saying just keep it like that. No redundancy required. Size of the disk size, I'm just keeping it same. It's not giving you many options now because it has taken the image from your already existing VM, so it's not going to change that. So now in the drop down you're not seeing many options. Username, you can I will use the same username which I used before. And yeah, that's it really. And if the license type, I say Windows Server. It is my Windows Server. Would you like to use an existing Windows Server license? No, I don't. Windows Network, and now I just say create it for me, and I say here create. So now you can see that another deployment is on its way, and hopefully this deployment will be successful as well, the way our previous deployment was successful. It does take a time, sometimes, maybe a few minutes. Um, so let's see when it comes back to life. So this is taking a slightly more time than it took to create to create a normal machine, to create the VM. Looks like that, creating the VM from the image is slightly longer activity. But let's see. And one of the exercises that I did, I think a couple of days ago or yesterday maybe, when I was deploying a VM, when I was creating a VM from the image, it said that the deployment was partially successful, and I was not sure what was wrong with that, because the new VM which was created from the image was being displayed as well, and I could log in into that VM and I could access it, and I could see that everything was there, but I wasn't sure that what was wrong. But then in the details of the logs, when I went over there, I could see that uh, you know there was some sort of a discrepancy left while doing the deployment, because of which they said that some of the features were not were not um, would not be fully available, uh, and that's why it was saying that the deployment was partially successful or unsuccessful, despite the fact that I could access the VM, the VM was there, but it may not be a very healthy VM. Chat box. Okay, so we created a VM to be used for 1 hour, for example, created some document work, saved it, then saved the image and did the VM, stop paying for that, then again want then to create the VM from images and start working on my DOS, like pay-as-you-go concept. But will we be paying Azure to keep our image? Yes, I think you will still be paying Azure, because as you can see that it has given you 149.29 credit remaining. So when I created it yesterday, it was 150 pounds for me. So today, although when we logged in, you may have seen that there was no VM there, but I just left an image placed on the on the portal, and it still deducted some money. So my understanding is that if you are keeping your images over there, then you will still have to have those the deduction will still happen. It will not be at the same rate where you were where the VM subscription was deducting the money, but some sort of a deduction will still happen. So it says deployment failed. Let's see what's wrong. I think it's a similar message that I got yesterday as well. Deployment to resource group cannot be failed. Additional details for underlying API that might be successful. At least one resource deployment operation failed. Okay, let's see whether we have the VM in place or not. I mean, it is a similar message that I got yesterday as well, and to be honest, I don't know what kind of a troubleshooting it requires, but I'm pretty confident that this VM is there. You see, the VM is there. We have. I mean, it has created the VM out of um, the image that we had, and we will just go in and have a look that whether this VM is working or not. I'm not sure that whether it's a bug in Azure, because of which it's showing that the deployment has failed while the deployment is still there, or if we go deep down into that VM, there may be some discrepancies. I'm not sure about that, but at this stage we can at least see that you have your test VM there. Your original VM, which was called Test Azure, is also there. It is not working at the moment. I mean, it is this VM is stopped, and it got stopped while we are we were we were taking um, uh, we were taking an image out of that, so that's why it got stopped. So I will just delete this one for now. Well, let's leave it for now. Let's go into the test VM. You can see that you have a new IP address, a new public IP address given to it. Now let's try to connect to this VM. We are going to connect through the RDP the way we connected through it before. Let's try. Let's do a different method. RDP. So the IP address that we are given is 13 dot 93 dot 70 dot 139, and then uh, your password, which will be what no use no use a different one. So yeah. So there you go. You are now going into your new um, your new setup, your new VM, which you created out of the image. So you can see that while you are in your new VM, which is actually created from the image, the same file is there. You can open this file and see the content of that file as well. ABCD123 4 is there as well. That was there in the original file. But there's something interesting I'm going to show you, which is if you go over here in the directory structure, and you also want to go into your D drive. What happened over here? Your D drive, you know, the file that I created, IMD drive, it is not accessible. Why it's not accessible? It should be accessible, right? In the D drive I created, it's not there. But let's see, they have put some data loss warning over here. And if you open this warning, it says very clearly that any data stored in this drive is subject to loss and there is no way to recover it. They have already given us the warning. Please do not use this disk for storing any personal application data. So that's why, you know, the file got lost, because it says, you know, the warning is already there. But I deliberately left that file over here just to show you that you know, they are saying that don't store anything over here, you will lose that. But the one that was there on the C drive, it is there, all healthy and everything. So you can see your VM is all good. You can see it working now. So that's an exercise that you know, we could do, and you can see that, you know, that how you created the VM in the Azure portal, and how you managed to capture an image out of that VM, and then also how you could uh, you know, use that image to create a fresh VM for yourself. Now let's go back to the virtual machines. I'm not really sure. I'm still not sure, to be honest, why this deployment got failed. Why we had the message that the deployment has failed, but we can see that, you know, this deployment is you know, I mean, the create deployment, it says that there was something wrong with that. But anyway, we have it there. Maybe it's a bug, and Microsoft needs to look at it. Maybe, I don't know. So let's do one thing. Now the next exercise, which is the last exercise I'm going to show you, is to how to play around with the disks. I mean, if you probably started with, you know, you already have a VM which had a few gigabytes of disk space on it for you, but then you thought that, you know, you need some extra disk space as well. So what are you going to do to enhance the disk space of your VM? So let's use one of these VMs and see that, you know, what is the current disk space on these ones, and what you can do to enhance that. Let's go to our test Azure VM, which was a VM that we created in the first place. Let's start it, because it has stopped for a while, and it says that failed to start virtual machines, error operation, VM is not allowed since the VM is generalized. Right, so it is not allowing us to start it. We are just going to delete this one for now, and we will go back to our image VM, which is supposedly a good VM. The operation on this VM failed. The VM is running few error details. It is giving some error details. Maybe it's a genuine error, and some troubleshooting is required. But at least this VM is working for the purpose of demonstrating that we managed to create it from uh, um, from a healthy VM. I'm going to delete this VM as well, because I want to do an exercise of creating a um, new disk space, and I want to do it on a fresh VM, which is a fully healthy VM, no dramas of deployment fail or this and that. So 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 let's do that. Let's create a new VM. Let this uh, virtual machine get deleted, and then let's start afresh on a new VM. VM created, then image created then image of VM. You tried creating another VM, probably nested VM. Not sure about that's one by nested. I'm not familiar to this terminology. Uh, Successfully deleted the virtual machine. Right, done. Now let's create a virtual machine here. It's deleting. It's still deleting. Successfully deleted. So all services, delete this one. Virtual machine. Okay, gone. So add virtual machine, a new virtual machine we are trying to create. Free trial, again, subscription is free trial. Virtual machine, resource group, KNQ is a resource group virtual machine name. Now we call it VM101. Region is again West Europe. Availability of no infrastructure. Now we say that Windows Server 2019. That's fine. Again, it has given us the size. We say yeah, 72 pounds, and it's 3.5 gig is fine. Username, I'm just going to use the same username, and Mountains 101. Mountains 101. Okay, and now we are going into the licensing and create the VM. Right. Deployment in progress again. So the deployment of new VM is in progress now. So Okay, brilliant. So now your deployment is completed. Now let's go into your VM and see. Go to the virtual machine. There you go. It's there now. So with all the specifications that we mentioned. So now connect with this VM. Okay, so we are in the VM now. Let's see that if it will, the service manager will come up by itself, or do we have to? Uh, yeah, service manager is coming up, and I'll show you something in the service manager. Right. So in the service manager, you can go to all server. We are working on the disk space now. I'm just going to show you that that how the disk space can be enhanced. So let it load up. File and storage services, disks. So you can see, the statuses of your disks over here. You have one disk which is 127 gig, and you have another disk which is 7 gig over here. So these are the two disks that you have at the moment, right? If you go into you want to verify the same thing over here in this PC, you can see that one of the disk is 100 and come on, why can't I move it? Yeah, okay. Okay, so one of the disk is 126, 127. It's almost the same, 6.997 gig. So these are the same disks which are being shown over here as C drive and D drive at the moment. This is all you have. But you want to temporarily maybe enhance your disk size. You want to have more disk size for you, because maybe this 127 plus 7 gigs is not enough at the moment, and for a few days or months maybe you need more disk space. So you can have any number of disk size. I mean, just like you have a laptop and your memory is full. You have I mean, all the disk space is used, so you just go out and buy another external hard drive to save the data, and you just keep that hard drive all the time with you. There may be a chance that that hard drive gets corrupted, but there's also a chance that even the disk space that you have purchased or from Currys or from PC World or from Amazon, that is not enough for you at some point, and then you have to enhance it once again. But over here you can do it in a matter of a few clicks, that you can buy any number of disk space, um, you know and let's see how we do that. So let's get out of this RDP session. uh, Actually just minimize that for now, and let's see. how we can enhance the disk sizes. So over here, we will go back into your virtual machines. This is your virtual machine, and in the settings, we can see there's this disk thing, and over here we are going to create and attach a new disk. So I just say I'm going to fill in a few parameters over here. So it's logical unit number. Uh, Logical unit number, if I give it 1, then it will be 1 disk. If I give 2, then it will be 2 disks, 2 extra disks. So let's start with logical unit number 1. The disk name, I will say extra 101. This name is already in use in this resource group. So okay, extra 202, I call it. The disk size, I say, let's do it as 10,000. I just want 1,000 gig, right? So this is what I've given, and now encryption, let's just keep it as default. Host caching, I want this to be read and write both, so I do this, and now I say save. So now it's creating an additional disk for me with the name of successfully created, updating virtual machine, and now your virtual machine is created. Your virtual machine is updated with extra disk space in it. Now let's go and have a look of what's happening over here. I'm going to close this, and I'm going to allow this to refresh. To allow this to refresh. So service manager, here you can see your new hard drive is there now, 1,000 gig of hard drive, it's all there. And let's go and have a look of what happened to your directory structure. Your directory structure is not showing that, and there's a reason why it's not showing, because in the service manager you have not created a volume out of that. So you have to first create a volume, and then it will start showing in. Creating a volume is pretty simple. You just go over here. You just go over in the volumes. You click on this to create a volume. Start a new wizard, volume wizard, and then you say yes, and then you say this is your this too. You click upon that. 1,000 gig is shown over here. Then you click upon next. You say yes over here, and now maybe you have although got 1,000 gigs, but you may not require all that 1,000 gig at this stage. You have purchased it, but you still think that I mean, for future purposes you need all the 1,000, but not for now. So you say that okay, for now I'm just going to use 400 gig out of that 1,000 gig, and so you do that, and then you say next. You can specify the letter that you want this to be used. So you say drive drive F, and then you click next, and then it says volume, new volume. So we say that Azure test, we call it Azure test, and then NTFS is the default thing. So we create yes, the next thing, and then we say create. So now it's creating it for you. So it's done now, and now you go over here, and you can see that Azure test of almost 400 gig, 399 gig is available for you now as a Oh, why it's hanging? Hmm. Okay, yeah. And now, and over here you can see in your disk manager, you can see that you are still left with 600 gigs, which is unallocated. And over here, you have your 400 gigs space available. Um, so 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 let's minimize that, and let's see that if you can. I'm just going to close this. If you want to have those 600 uh, gigs used as well, so all you need to do is to new volume, and now you say next. Again, 1000 gigs that we purchased. Click upon next. Now you say that, okay, let's use the rest of the 600 as well. So you do that. Letter drive G. Again, everything before. Over here you call it uh, Azure test 2, and then you create next, and then create. All done. Um, let's close this one. Now everything is used. There's nothing unallocated for you now. But over here you can see that your 600 gigs thing has also come by, is there. So your Azure test 2 is of 600, Azure test is of 400. So yeah, um, so so this is something that we have not demonstrated successfully, that we created a new VM, and in the new VM we had some disk space available by default, and we have now enhanced that disk space. So let's get out of that thing. Now, one more thing is that you just to make sure that you don't lose your money on this. I mean, at the moment it's a free trial, and this free trial is for 30 days. So in 30 days, they are going to deduct the money anyway from you, and by the but that's not your money. It's just they have given 150 pounds to you. So that money is going to deduct it. It's not that your credit card transaction will happen or the money is going to be taken out from your credit card. It's just the money that they have allocated to you. That is the one which is going to get deducted, um, you know, over the next 30 days. And on 30th day, you will see that you have zero because your free trial has expired. But let's consider a scenario in which you have gone past your free trial, and now you have to upgrade, because on one credit card and on one account you cannot have more than 30 days. You have to create a new user ID with a new credit card to again reset your to again have a free trial for the next 30 days. And if that free trial expires, then you have to have another credit card and another credit card. So at some point you will, and if you are serious in setting up those Azure services, then you have to go for a pay-as-you-go subscription. And when you go for the pay-as-you-go subscription, one thing that you need to keep in mind is that uh, if you are doing anything only for the test purposes, only for playing around purposes, for instance, if you are creating a VM, make sure that you delete that VM after you have done your work, because till the time that VM is up and running, you will be paying for it for every hour, because you did see in the subscription that it said that 72 pounds per month and 9p uh, per hour that you are paying. So that money is being deducted. So the best thing to do is that once you have done this exercise the way I have done that, you just go in and you say delete. Uh, and when you say delete, just type yes and you say delete. So that deletion is going to ensure that that VM is not there anymore. All the resources that you reserved, they have been released, and now your Azure account is empty. And yeah, um, and you can go from there. So yeah, this is all really for today. I'm just going to stop the recording, and